Well, hello, you blooming woman. Welcome back to the podcast, Cassey.
Oh, hello. Thank you. I was thinking about the last time we had a chat and I was calling in this pregnancy. I
Podcast
think
chat, by
that
the way, we chat all
podcast
the time,
chat. Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
podcast chat.
Podcast
Okay.
chat.
Yeah,
And you
wow.
asked me at the end, what is it? What is your dream? Like, what is your biggest dream? I think was the question. And I said, oh, to be pregnant. And yeah, so it must have been at the beginning of the year that we had our last
Wow.
potty chat. And here I am,
Here you are,
30 weeks pregnant.
10 weeks to go, looking absolutely luscious
Oh, thank
with your
you.
big bum. How's it been treating you?
It has been, for the most part, amazing because I've been actually able to enjoy this pregnancy without the
Yeah.
deep grief of losing my mom.
Just for
And
context, last time you might remember from our previous chats when Cassie was pregnant with her first, she unfortunately unexpectedly lost her beautiful mum.
yeah, and I was literally 30 weeks pregnant, which is where I am right now.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah, it feels very different. I was at a wedding on the weekend, like in full celebration of love. So different to where I was 4.5 years ago,
Yeah,
um, at
wow.
a funeral saying goodbye to my mum. So yeah, that's been really beautiful to not be in that deep grief. There's definitely been moments of grief that have come up to
Mhm.
move through. I've had a few colds and flus
Mm,
just to keep knocking me down, so I slow down.
mm.
It's always just the body like reminding me to take it easy, and this is time to really take it slow, to surrender to the next moment of intensity,
Yeah,
which
which
is
is gonna come with a
it's just gonna come
what,
exactly.
a 3-year-old now and a
I've
newborn?
got a
Oh,
4-year-old.
he's 4 now. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh. Gosh, that's
yeah,
gone quick.
I know.
Um, a conversation that we had when you became pregnant with this baby inspired this chat we're about to have. And it's obviously has taken us a really long time to have the chat, but I think appropriately. And I think this is the last of the series of episodes that I have done on the law of detachment. So if you've listened to those, if you haven't, go back and listen to them because um, it's really important for us to understand how to detach. I think it's one of the most powerful laws to play with and to master because it's probably the one that is going to be in direct correlation to your happiness and to your flow. So listen to those 3 episodes, but this episode is something that I've actually never heard anyone talk about. And so when we started talking about it, I was like, oh my gosh, we have to talk about this on the pod. And you were like, thank goodness, open enough to do that. And this aspect of detachment is unique in that a lot of spiritual people won't talk about it because the whole idea of spirituality has been sold on the idea that if you do the right things, if you heal, you will get what you want or you can have anything you want. And the simple answer to, well, the simple reality of that is that that's not true. We are powerful creators. We can create many things and many experiences in our life, but there is only so much we have control over. And if we're not able to detach ourselves from the things that we wanted the most or thought we deserved, then we're going to be stuck in a prison of our own making, of dissatisfaction, of frustration, and even sometimes of anger and betrayal. But detaching from how we think things should be is actually a really powerful portal into becoming all that we can be, I believe. What are your thoughts on that?
Yes, for sure. And when you speak to that, like my belief is you get what you need for your greatest good,
Mm,
always.
yep.
Full stop. We think that we need things a certain way, or we
Mm.
want things, or we desire things to be a certain way. But I believe we get what we need that is going to help us on our highest evolution, on our highest path, our highest timeline. But if we resist that and we exactly like you say, we kind of cage ourselves in and we hold that resentment and anger and all the things, we don't actually feel it, but we push it down like, oh,
Yeah, for
thinking that the
sure.
world's against us, the universe is fucking with us,
Well, I mean, I've
instead
heard
of being
that
in
so
trust.
much from clients.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
I haven't said this myself a lot, but a lot from clients. Um, when is the universe going to listen to me? Like when, like I've done all the work. And I think that there's a big reality that we all have to be beaten over the head with because the universe does not work on a morality clause. It works on energetics. So it doesn't matter how good you are or how good you are at it, whatever it is. It doesn't matter how many healings you've done or the inner work that you've done. It doesn't then equate to all the good things happening to you. And so when people, and that's a religious concept, be good, get into heaven,
Mm-hmm.
right? That's not how energy works
Yeah.
because energy is always going to ebb and flow. It is such a complex system because we're constantly interrelating with not just other people's higher selves, but their ego. And so timelines are always being distorted, stories are always changing. It's never a clear linear path of 1 + 1 = 2.
Mm-hmm.
And so if we go into any type of self-development work thinking, if I do this, I will get that, then you are going to be seriously disappointed. So back to the
Yes.
question, why do we do this work? Um, I'll throw it to you. Do you want me to go first or do you want to go first? Like, why do we do this work then if it's not to get what we want?
For me, it's definitely like inner peace and that inner
Yes.
satisfaction. Like it doesn't matter. You can move through struggle and hard things in life with more ease, with more grace, with it feeling more effortless because you know that no one's against you. No one's trying to screw you over. The universe, spirit, God, whatever you believe in, creator, it's it's just a part of life. It's a part of growing. It's a part of learning. It's a part of evolving. So it's like that acceptance.
Mm, I totally agree with you. And the only thing I would add to that for me, it's like, it's because I want to actually get the most out of life,
Oh yeah, thousand
not,
percent.
and not to like get the most out of life as in get the most, as in collect, as in the most out of, I want to be the biggest, most expansive, most creative, most like exuberant version of myself.
Mm-hmm.
So I
Mm-hmm.
heal the trauma, I do the work, I detach so I can move through each day. My mum said something to me a while ago and it stuck with me so bad. She said, when you were little, you were always like, what's happening today? What are we doing today? You just had this like attitude to life of like, what's going to go on? And kind of excited anticipation. And as an adult, I do not have that anymore. But knowing that that is my true nature is so beautiful because now I'm like, that's why I do this work. Because I
Mm,
want to get back to that. Because how beautiful is it to live like that?
yeah.
All those bless, and I'm not saying this to down other people, but healers or coaches or whatever that say, do this to find your soulmate or have 50K months or whatever it is, they're just a product of capitalist
Mm,
society,
mm,
right? So that is not what this work is about. It's for
yeah.
amplification of, like you say, ease, grace, and joy and love.
Yeah, totally. And coming back to your true nature, which is love, which is joy. So you can be in that even whilst you're experiencing tough situations, like
Yeah.
you can feel both. That's the polarity of our heart, which is our soul, which is our essence. Um, yeah.
So true. So we were having a discussion because we are not immune to things not working out for us, right? So trust me,
Absolutely
if
not.
if it was a morality clause, oh my gosh, could you imagine where we'd be if that's really the
Oh,
currency of the universe? We'd be millionaires. We'd
oh.
be no. So it's disappointing stuff happens or doesn't happen for
Mhm.
us. And we're going to share some of that stuff with you. And as a result, kind of how we've navigated that with all that we know, with all that we believe in hopes to like help you when you're in these situations, because you will be in these situations. Do you want to kick us off or do you want me
Mm.
to?
Well, how our conversation began
Yeah.
many months ago was
Yep.
when I found out the sex of my second child.
Mm-hmm.
And I was adamant it was a girl. Like, I've already got a boy, my 4-year-old beautiful boy, Ashar. And I was like, this is a girl. Like, I'd always seen a vision of a boy and a girl. And every healer, every
Mm-hmm.
intuitive, every psychic saw a girl, like, felt girl energy. Oh, it's definitely a girl. All my friends. So I was like, dead set, girl. Partner, dead set girl. We had a girl's name picked out. And then we got the results. And it was a boy. And I was like shocked to the core.
Yeah.
Like, so shocked. Literally felt deep grief for it. Like, I cried a lot
Yeah.
that day. And it sounds so silly because obviously I want just a healthy baby. It doesn't matter what sex. But the truth be told, like, deep within me, it was like this yearning, this longing for a girl, because I guess it's like all the inner child work and all of the work that I've done, and, with my menstrual cycle and understanding, what it is to truly be in your feminine power, and like to have a little girl to be able to share that wisdom with
Mm-hmm.
would be phenomenal. Like, it just seemed like a no-brainer. Of course, I'm in this like womb wisdom work and ceremonial work, like having my little girl in circles,
Yeah.
all of the visions, and, dressing her up to look the same as me
Of
and
course.
all of
Yeah.
those fun things too. And just having that beautiful feminine energy. Um, I felt so much grief, so
Mm-hmm.
much grief. And then, it would go into a little bit of guilt, like I shouldn't feel like this. But then I'd come back into that grief and I just allowed myself to fully feel it, like fully feel it, and tried not to tip into like that shame or guilt, because it's the truth of how I was feeling. There's no point denying it. I'm not going to say I'm fine when I'm not fine.
Mm.
So it was a really big time, and it did take a little while to process. And there's still moments like where it pops up. And of course, I am so, so grateful to have another little boy to bring into this world, because I believe that the mamas that are bringing these boys in is changing the trajectory of the masculine, and bringing in the divine masculine, heart-centered, like understanding a woman's needs, and fully being in reverence of women is so powerful. That is a change that we need in the world.
I mean, do we need more powerful, connected women? Yes, but I think the women that are already walking this earth can do that themselves.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, right.
like, we're so far ahead. And, like, when you look at it, I mean, that, a miracle, the shift in perception, is that just that, like, realizing actually there's way more gifts in this child being a boy than it
Mm.
is the girl. And all that can be understood and integrated for sure. But I think that what I was very impressed with you as we were having conversations about it, I too was shocked that it was a boy. I was like, what? Sure, they're right. Go back, go see someone else. Maybe their machine was broken.
Yeah. Could be
Um,
that like 1% chance that they
yeah.
screwed up. I'll let you know in a couple of months.
Imagine you go through all this grief and it's like, oh man.
Oh, damn it. Now I've got to switch.
Um,
Oh.
but I was just really like, I think I just remember saying, like, obviously I'm not a mum. And I know that you have, just because of your stage of life and where you are, you have a lot of mum friends. And I remember you saying, like, I feel bad for feeling guilty. I'm like, why? Like, why would you feel bad for this grief? Like, it's so normal and healthy. And how empowering would that be to share? Do you want to share it on the pod? And you're like, yeah. And I was like, whoa, okay, that's brave because it's a little bit taboo, but it is I think it's okay as a woman to want what you want and be sad when you don't get it.
Yeah, yeah. It's okay
So
to feel
I just
that and show
really,
that. And
yeah,
yeah.
really honored that in you. I thought I was so impressed by it.
Thank you. Yeah.
What do you think it would, in terms of detachment? I think just like I agree, like allowing yourself to fully feel disappointed,
Mm.
I think is a massive portal of acceleration into acceptance.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Is there any other thing that you can think of besides allowing that grief to get to that acceptance? Anything else on that level that helped you?
I think it was that shift in perspective.
Yeah.
It's like what I thought I needed and what I thought was for my path and my greatest good. It's like, oh, wait, no, it's actually these beautiful boys coming through that I need to
Mm.
nurture and uplift and, bring into their highest divine masculine way. It's, yeah.
Choosing to be a parent is a huge choice.
Mm,
If you'd have felt that it was going to be a boy and people were telling you that it was going to be a boy, do you think you would have as willingly gone for the second child?
yes.
Ah, interesting.
Yeah. 1,000%. Yeah. Definitely, definitely wanted, like I would, yeah, a family of four and having two children is like feels complete to me.
Okay, so then I think another aspect of this is wanting what you want,
Mm,
but accepting like the deeper level of what you want. So
mm-hmm.
what you desired was completion, probably companionship for Asher as he goes through life
Yes.
as well,
Yep.
obviously. Like I think that's a big reason for having another kid.
Yep.
And so that's what you actually wanted. The girl was a cherry on top thing that didn't even
Yeah.
really matter, but
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
your whole focus prior to getting pregnant.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I have written and rehearsed like many, many like affirmations and yeah, created this little girl that was coming into my life. I've actually got a letter that's sitting on my altar that I'm going to open on the 1st of January. I'd written to myself on the 1st of January
Mm.
this year. And it definitely says little baby girl in there with
Yeah.
her name. Dead set.
Did you ever think to yourself, did you ever go down that, oh my gosh, I've done all this work. What went wrong?
Yes, I
Okay. Talk to us
did.
about that.
I absolutely did. I was like, what the heck? Yeah, I went into victim for sure. I will be honest about that. I went into victim around like calling in the little girl. Why did I not get the little girl? Why can't I have that? It felt really unfair and unjust that I do this work and I'm in this women's work and I'm, leading the path on this in this way and I didn't get the little girl.
Mm.
Yeah, I did. I absolutely did. And then as I said, like I shifted the perspective and I was like, oh, wait, I just needed to feel that. It's okay. I can go into victim. I'm allowed to do that. Gave myself permission.
Mm.
Gave myself permission to talk it out with friends and my sister who has three boys.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, it was just again coming back to like just allowing myself to feel it all and then coming to acceptance and then the realization and then like looking at the bigger picture and then shifting my perspective and it was doing this work and being this work like the ceremonial work where I work with the elements and animals and mountains that all um, have these beautiful essences like they really helped me move through it. like I worked with the portal of the east, which is like really, that's like the eagle, like flying high above, seeing everything from a high perspective, like knowing that everything is perfect just the way it is. So it was just like having to move through those moments the
And
best
holding
I
the
know
duality
how.
of that, like the knowing and the grief at the same time.
Yeah,
I think
right?
for me, like the stuff that I want that isn't on offer to me, like okay, in this case, like having a baby. Like
Mm-hmm.
I've had to make conscious choices throughout my life at certain points on what to do about that. And so I've had to take a lot of personal responsibility on when it comes to this area of my life. And I feel like that's something that really helps me detach from the thing that I've always wanted.
Yeah.
Because I got to the point where, okay, do I do it on my own? I've
Mm.
always wanted to do it in this context, or, not really meeting someone. No offense. I don't think anyone that I've been with will be listening to this podcast. But wow, no offense, but none of you really fit my bill to be like, came
They
close.
could be all listening. They could be all
Okay,
listening.
none of you measured up. No, like I would square peg round hole it. Like I was trying to like
Yeah.
justify it or whatever. I'm like like no, they had these qualities. It could really work or whatever. But if I'm really honest, like none of them I really like think, maybe one of them, but I'm like, oh no, I would completely trust this person with this area of my life, regardless of what happened between us. And then so, okay, well then do I do it on my own?
Yeah.
If I haven't aligned with that person that I want to do it with, and with all the BS science stuff. If you're a scientist, listen to this. I know you're not going to agree with me, but women can get pregnant a lot longer than what science tells us to, or the patriarchy tells us we can.
Yes, indeedy. I'm
Um,
42, bitches.
yes, there you go. See, um, so like I had to get to the point where I was like, is this something I do on my own? And I had to take the responsibility on making that decision. It wasn't something that, for my reasons, and remember, my reasons aren't your reasons, so don't come at me.
Mm,
But
mm.
that I wasn't going to do it on my own, voluntarily. If it happened on my own, that's fine. I would have absolutely done it. But and so for me, it was like, okay, I have to take on personal responsibility for the decisions that I have made and know that they are mine, even if I haven't liked them,
Yeah.
and be really connected to my reasoning around that. But then also accepting that this grief is always going to live with me.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you never have another baby, there's probably part of you, I'd imagine, that's always going to grieve that little girl.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so motherhood is something I will always grieve.
Mm.
And that's okay. It doesn't mean that therefore I have been betrayed by the universe or I've done stuff wrong. Could I have done heaps of stuff differently? Absolutely. But that taking deep responsibility for it and not trying to blame an external force
Mm.
and just going, do you know what? Like it is what it is. And it will always be sad.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean the other areas of my life can't be really happy.
Yeah.
And so to realize that the things that we want, the attachment to them, is probably the thing that's going to choke them out of our experience anyway.
Mm.
And we've talked about that in previous episodes. But also the idea that it's okay to be sad about not getting what you want. And there's actually nothing that you could have done essentially about it.
Yeah.
People that struggle with infertility. Yep. You know what? Sometimes it's just not fair.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah,
that's
like
okay.
my mum passing away when I was 30 weeks pregnant with Asha, like that's not fair.
Yeah.
And but at the same time, I can see how much of a blessing it has been for my life as well on so many levels in terms of
Do
my
you think if that had happened 5 years previously,
mm.
you could have seen it that way?
when I was fully in the party girl scene of Bondi.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe I was just not at the right age to or the right maturity and having to I had left Bondi. We were in Byron. We were in the I call it the most healing land.
Mm. You were in a different
Really,
relationship. You were in,
yeah, 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 exactly.
And
Exactly.
you
So
weren't at all open to this side of life.
yeah, yeah. So I may not have been ready to look at it in that way. So I could have stayed in victim, which can be very easily done.
Yeah.
Staying in victim, staying in blame. But that is why we do the work, right? We don't
Yep.
want to be in that because we
Yeah.
can't create from that.
Yes. What I noticed is through the processes of not getting the things that I wanted,
Mhm.
is how much conditioning was actually in me to want those things. And it made me question how much of this is I do genuinely want it, what parts of me do genuinely want it. They're the bits I can hold with grief. And what parts are actually so conditioned that I feel like I haven't achieved or I haven't been good enough or I haven't, that I need to dismantle.
Mm,
Because what I have found recently is that holding on to what it is that I want and living from that space, choosing every day from that space, I'm going to do this to get that. I realized I was living my whole life like that. I'm going to eat that to feel like this. I'm going to work out here to look like that. I'm going
mm,
to it, I'm going to wear this because what if I run into him there? And everything that I did was this to get that.
yeah.
And I realized wanting what I wanted was making me miserable. I was so trapped in attachment to what I wanted that I was bypassing authenticity. I was bypassing the joy that was available to me right there, right now. And so that I think for me inspired this whole chat about detachment.
Yeah. And also that like, everything's conditional, right? So
Yeah.
that's when we think about our innate self, like it's unconditional love. So what you would have found at that time would have most likely been conditional anyway.
Oh,
Like it
so
would have
true.
just been that mirror of like where you're at. Like, oh, I found this person, but or whatever it is.
Yeah.
It's yeah.
And if we look back on both of our personal lives, I guess we can see that. Like, oh, I found
Yeah.
that then, but it was so conditional because I did that for that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Someone that I was almost going to go down that road with, I did it because it was all conditioning. He wasn't what I actually wanted at all.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think back now thinking, gosh, I'd be so like knee deep in co-parenting with someone that would be impossible to co-parent with because there's no way I could have stayed.
And miserable as well,
Miserable.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas now I'm like, do you know what? I've recognized that I got myself to a point where what I wanted was making me sad rather than inspired, rather
Mm,
than motivated. And so I had to not want whatever I want, but I had to get to a point where I didn't want it anymore in that intensity. Does that kind of make sense?
yeah, because it's like this grabbing on, this neediness, this like gripping on for dear life. It's
Mm.
like there's no surrender or trust in that.
None whatsoever.
It's very like shadow side of
Yeah.
Virgo, which is say, because we're in the
Ooh.
Pisces Virgo
Yeah,
axis right
access.
now.
Yeah.
If we could like
Yeah.
explain it in a way, it's like, okay, I've got to have it this way. It's got to be structured like this. It's like, everything. And if it,
Shut up. That's so funny you say that, given that you had to really face it right when we walked into that access.
yeah,
And that's when
yeah,
I like personally gave up, like, actually, no, I don't. I don't want to want like a marriage or a relationship or a baby anymore. I don't want to want that anymore. And then that
yeah.
grief of letting that go. And it feels scary because we're so conditioned to want. Like the
Mm-hmm.
externals has to motivate you. That's capitalist society. That's Capricorn and Pluto.
Yeah.
So work hard for that external thing that you want. And then I think you and I have both been through that process in our own ways of like letting it go. And of course, what flows? Oh my gosh. Like we before we got on here, we're just talking about it. Like work opportunities that I never planned for that really are allowing me to tap into a part of myself that I really enjoy being. Relationship that actually is so authentic now that I don't have to try for or perform for. I
Mm.
can just fully accept it as it is. And it's no longer like this point of tension in my life anymore. It just is. And you actually enjoying your pregnancy finally, hopefully.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And being in that deep trust, and
Mm.
that's yeah, yeah, the trust in where life is leading
How do you
us.
think you'll hold the grief going forward of, in your case, your little girl, in my case, maybe not being a parent, who knows, or I don't think I will ever grieve the relationship. It's fine. We've sorted that out. But like how do you think you'll hold the grief?
It's just giving myself those moments
Yeah.
of time to process because it has come up. I've seen, mums with their daughters and sharing
Mm.
how special it is to have a daughter, and yeah, the silly things where they're being able to dress up your daughter in beautiful tutus and all the things
Yeah.
that I have already experienced that a lot throughout this pregnancy, that I've had to sit with them and say and feel it and be like, okay, yeah, that's so beautiful. Like I really honor that, like witnessing that. But yeah, I'm not going to be able to experience that with my children. Like that doesn't mean I'm not going to be able to experience that. I work in women's work. Not that I'm going to dress up my clients in tutus.
You can
So
just
don't
message.
worry.
I'll come up. You can just message.
But to be in beautiful circles with women,
Mm.
and who knows, maybe I will get into working with
Mm.
women as they transition, or girls as they transition into women through their bleeds.
Yeah.
That might happen one day. Like maybe that's where things are going. Who knows? I'm open to it all. And friends, little girls that I get to play with, and um, I'll tell you a story about I was at Ash's preschool recently for his birthday, and we were sitting in a little circle, like at a table, and there were two little girls in front of me, and they turned around to me and they were like, "Oh, we love your earrings, and your pants feel so nice, and your like beautiful rings." And they were like just touching me. Like it was so sweet. And I just got that little, like those moments, the little
Yeah.
taste of these beautiful little girls who, yeah, were just so nurturing. And
Yeah, it can be. It can be.
yeah.
You didn't get them like screaming because their tutu was itching or because
Yeah, well, that's right. And
they
I
got
have been told
pimples.
by many mamas who have boys that through the experiences as they grow, that it is beautiful. They always love their mums.
Yeah.
And girls can be absolute little bitches.
Yes, yes, they can.
So take the
We would know.
good.
Yeah. What would
Uh,
you what would you want people to know about anything that we've talked about today in terms of detachment from what you didn't get?
that, like what you said before, like you haven't done anything wrong.
Yeah.
And it's okay to want things and desire things and dream for things. When things don't work out, like give yourself that space and time. Don't guilt yourself, don't shame yourself. Talk to people, journal it out, like feel it, sit with your beautiful medicine of cacao, like allow your heart to feel it all. Like, yeah, and come into that acceptance and allow your higher self to shift into that higher perspective.
And if you're scared to do that, I think that a cacao ceremony is a beautiful way
Oh, yeah,
to be held
absolutely.
through that. So if you're struggling with this at the moment, with something that you're struggling to detach from because you didn't get it, maybe sitting with that support in a cacao ceremony and sitting in
Mm.
your heart, that safe space to grieve it
Yeah, oh my
and
gosh.
to
Cacao
feel
is
that.
the most amazing medicine to work with for women, especially to be in our hearts and to be able to allow ourselves to feel this. Because for so long we haven't, and we've just stayed in our minds and like the shoulds and the victim and it's like, no, just come into the heart and allow your beautiful essence to speak and your truth to speak.
And
Yeah.
especially with the idea of women having to be so good to get
Yeah.
what we want,
Right. Yeah.
just to allow yourself off that hook. Remember
Mm-hmm.
that this universe is not a universe of morality, it's a universe of energy. And you can create many things. Like if I really wanted to be a mother, I could have become a mother.
Yeah.
and take that personal responsibility on and realize when it's time to let go of the things that are now causing you more pain because you want them, as
Mm.
opposed to inspiration. Notice yourself at that tipping point. Give yourself that space to do all those things that you just said, to grieve, to connect,
To
so
scream,
that,
to cry, to process it however you can best,
yeah,
whatever works for you. There's no right or wrong way.
no. And to know that all of this work that we do, that you do, that I do, anything we do, personally, it's not to get what we want. It's to be who we desire to be, because
Mm-hmm.
the crap's going to happen. The
Yeah.
bad stuff is going to happen. And how you can hold yourself through that, I think, is just going to always be the determining factor of that will ripple out into every other area of your life.
Yeah.
And that is what and why we do this work. So,
Mm-hmm.
as always, thank you for your vulnerability, because I know this is a big topic to come on and talk about just generally, let alone the example that you gave, because it is a bit taboo. But you know where to find Cass to sit in ceremony if that's what you feel called to do, to help hold yourself if you're struggling with detachment from what it is that you never did get.
Mm-hmm.
If it's starting to plague you. And we wish you well over the next 10 weeks, and we can't wait to meet the littlest member of our Light Path community when he arrives later this year.
Thank you.